Right now, hundreds of parade goers navigate the heat as they celebrate Juneteenth.
And we are continuing to sit underneath these hot conditions, how long the heat lasts, and the chance for when we could see severe weather in the full forecast.
And we're following the heavily debated naked bike ride as it rolls through downtown Madison. Welcome to News 3 Now at 6. Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jalen Banks. Well, warm is a tad bit of an understatement. Let's go ahead and get a look at your first warn forecast with meteorologist Blaze Keller. Blaze, what should we expect?
We are going to continue to sit underneath these hot conditions as we go over really the next, I would say, 48 hours. We're going to continue to sit underneath these very hot temperatures at least until Tuesday, and then things start to change a little bit. Here's a current look at the heat advisory. Again, that is in effect until 7 p.m. That went into effect at about noon today. And so we're going to continue to deal with these heat index values that are above 100 degrees. We're already seeing that this afternoon. And if we take a look at what we can expect in terms of those heat index values as we go over the next couple of hours, we're still feeling like 90 degrees at least as we head into the 10 p.m. hour. As we slip past the midnight hour, it'll still feel like the upper 80s. And then as we go into those early morning hours on Sunday, like the low 80s. And for context, we should not get any higher than about 81 degrees in terms of temperatures for this time of year. So it is going to be a very hot evening and overnight. It is important that you and your pet stay cool this evening. And then we turn our attention to Monday. That's when we have a scattered chance for severe thunderstorms. We're going to touch more on Monday's timing in the full forecast.
All right, sounds good, Blaze. We'll see you in just a bit. And as always, you can track the forecast for yourself on the First Warn weather app. It is hourly planners, road conditions, and even radar. You can download it for free in your phone's app store. Just search WISC Weather. Well, it's been a pretty busy and hot Saturday right here in Madison and across southern Wisconsin. And hundreds gathered to celebrate Juneteenth at Penn Park with a parade and festival. Our Tanisha Shaw talked to community members that walked in the parade during the heat advisory.
Juneteenth festivities continue in Madison Saturday with a parade in the morning and a festival throughout the afternoon. This is all happening during an active heat advisory with temperatures in the low 90s.
Oh, it's toasty. Feel a little microwave-ish. Feel like we baking, but you're seeing a lot of good melanin shown, a lot of moistness going on.
It is humid, sticky.
Hot. Very hot.
Feel that little trickle of sweat going down my back like butter on toast. It's hot.
Even though it's really hot and sunny today, everyone that I spoke to said they are willing to brace the heat to celebrate freedom.
A lot of times living in a place like Wisconsin, we can feel like a minority, but the truth is we're a majority, and this is what it feels like here.
Annie Weatherby Flowers is the founder of the Juneteenth celebration through Coogee Chagalia in Madison and said that weather does not stop African Americans from making a message.
Our ancestors, who we're celebrating today, worked in this heat all the time without relief. And so understanding, as my last one just worked, is to understand that this is how they survived and how they then to be blessed by Danny Glover, who played Kunta Kinte in Roots. So that was so, I think that warmed my heart.
In 2021, Juneteenth became the newest federally founded holiday, celebrating when troops freed the last slaves from chattel slavery in 1865 in Galveston, Texas. Saturday, people say that this holiday and the celebrations honor their ancestors.
Celebrating our ancestors, everything that it took for us to get to this moment.
This is the hopes and the dreams of the slaves, what we're celebrating here today.
Tanisha, thank you. Organizers also had free drinks and more medics around to help everyone beat the heat. A sailboat capsized near Picnic Point earlier today. The Madison Fire Department confirmed to News 3 Now this occurred about a quarter-mile east of Picnic Point at 3 p.m. and the area was cleared at 3:11. 2 people were out on the boat, and it is unknown if there were any injuries. We'll continue to keep you updated both on air and online as we gather more information. Madison police are searching for a suspect who broke into a business last night on the city's southwest side. Police say it happened right before 11 p.m. at a business on Raymond Road. The business was closed at the time of the burglary, and police confirmed some of the computer tablets were stolen. When officers arrived on the scene, the suspect had already left. Police say the suspect appeared to have entered a break-in. entered by breaking a window. The suspect has not been located, and there is no other information available at this time. A 53-year-old man is critically injured after being trapped underneath a skid steer Saturday. Multiple agencies responded to State Highway 60 in the town of Hardisford. The man was freed from the skid steer by the fire department personnel and was flown to the hospital with serious life-threatening injuries. One of Madison's most debated events rolled through downtown this afternoon. The 15th World Naked Bike Ride is meant as a celebration of body positivity and a protest against oil dependency. The event garnered scrutiny from lawmakers in 2023 after a 10-year-old girl joined the ride. A state assembly committee approved a pair of bills that year, barring minors from participating in the event and making it a crime to intentionally expose yourself. However, those measures did not become law.
You know, everybody notices because it's an annual thing. 50 to 75 of them bicycles that came by this year.
Expressing their personal freedom and
It's a way to get a little attention.
Pretty well-mannered crew. Nobody was like being a knucklehead or...
Just to clarify, you do not have to be naked to participate in the ride. And if you're a lover of music, then today is the day for you. Make Music Madison was back today with music all over the city. Make Music Day happens all over the country and over 1,000 cities. Madison started taking part in the Day of Music back in 2013.
The last one was Me Va a Extrañar by Ricardo Montaner. That's the most hard song that I ever sing because I don't know, because it has a lot of notes and that kind of stuff. So I feel very proud about me to sing that kind of songs.
Over 100 locations throughout the city of Madison had performances. Today, the Elks Fraternal organization brought in members from across the state to see the support they've provided to the respite camp in Camp Walbeek. The Elks have contributed more than $3 million to help the Wisconsin Easter Seals with the camp. The goal of the Camp of Walbeek is to help people with disabilities try new things and make friends, and in a more accessible, inclusive, and fun environment. The Elks' contributions help build a dining hall and sleeping areas, as well as continued maintenance like replacing roofs.
In the early 90s, we changed our focus and got more involved in respite. It was something that we knew that there was a need in the area to allow individuals with special needs to have a camping experience and then a time for their caregivers to have a break from that 24/7 responsibility.
The Elks also work to have a 5-year plan to continue to keep up with repairs like lighting and parking lot maintenance. Coming up next on News 3 Now at 6, a judge blocks the Trump administration from tying transportation funds to the state's cooperation with immigration efforts. Plus, tensions continue in the Middle East early Saturday as Iran and Israel trade missile fire.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
Thank you for staying with us. As President Trump continues to decide whether the U.S. should formally join Israel in bombing Iran's nuclear sites, the U.S. has dispatched B-2 bombers from Missouri to Guam. CBS News' Willie James Inman has more.
Overnight, tensions continue to rise in the Middle East as Israel and Iran exchange missile fire. Amidst the heightening conflict, on Saturday, the U.S. dispatched B-2 stealth bombers from Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri to Guam. The stealth bombers are capable of dropping powerful bunker-busting bombs, weaponry military experts say is necessary in destroying the sorts of nuclear bunkers believed to be in Iran.
It's designed to penetrate to quite a significant depth before it actually goes off, and then to generate a large, burst after that.
President Trump is still considering whether the U.S. will formally join Israel in bombing Iran's nuclear enrichment sites. On Friday, he expressed concerns about Iran's ability to obtain a nuclear weapon.
And I think within a matter of weeks, or certainly within a matter of months, they're going to be able to have a nuclear weapon. We can't let that happen.
Also on Friday, a European delegation met with Iranian officials in Geneva in an effort to encourage Iran to limit its nuclear program.
Iran is ready to consider diplomacy once again.
What's unclear is if Iran is willing to accept President Trump's offer for direct talks. Iran called those off after Israel started bombing. Part of the proposal by European leaders presented to Iran includes the return of UN inspectors, the ability of the U.S. to play a role in overseeing Iran's ballistic missile program, and the cutting of funding to proxies in the region, such as Hezbollah and the Houthis. Any deal could only be signed off by Iran's supreme leader, last seen on TV Wednesday. Diplomatic sources tell CBS News that he's in hiding, dodging Israeli assassination threats. Willie James Inman, CBS News, the White House.
Among those reportedly injured in the weekend bombings in the Middle East were Americans who, according to a State Department spokesperson, sustained light injuries as a result of the Iranian missile strike. 20 mostly Democrat-led states filed a lawsuit last month. It aimed to prevent the Department of Transportation from cutting off billions of dollars in funding if the states refuse to comply with federal immigration enforcement. President Donald Trump has used federal funding as leverage amid policy disagreements with different states and organizations. In his Thursday ruling, the judge granted a preliminary injunction. Many state attorneys general have sued the administration over issues ranging from the president's bid to end birthright citizenship to his tariff policies. Blaze Keller returns with a complete look at your first warn forecast when we return. Into our newsroom, Beloit police are looking for a missing boy named Kwalik. We have his picture up on our website at channel3000.com underneath this story. Anyone with any information is asked to contact the non-emergency line at 608-727-2244 or through p3tips.com/482. We'll continue to keep you updated both on air and online, but for now, let's get a look at your first warn forecast with the meteorologist Blaze Keller. Blaze, it's a hot one out there.
You can say that. Again, it is a hot one out there, and it is going to be probably just slightly hotter tomorrow. Monday, still hot and muggy and humid, but we do start to see some relief on the horizon. Starting later Monday afternoon into the evening hours, we'll not only see showers and thunderstorms move through the area, but we could also squeeze out maybe a severe thunderstorm or two. And then that really ushers in what looks to be a fairly wet and cooler week ahead. So we will get a break from the heat. It may not feel like it based on how hot it is, but the relief is on the way. Again, that heat advisory for all of our coverage area until 7 p.m. this evening, Monday evening. And again, for folks who maybe haven't ventured out to Summerfest, but maybe want to head out there on Sunday, live in Racine or Kenosha counties, you're underneath an extreme heat warning through Monday as well. Take a look at just how much of the plains, the Midwest, and now the East Coast that are underneath some sort of heat-related alert. Heat advisories stretching from essentially the coast, the Gulf Coast, all the way north into Minnesota, back as far west as Denver, and is stretching as far east as Maine. So the heat is moving eastward. That's why they're getting those alerts now. And then we'll be saying goodbye to the heat as soon as Tuesday of next week. And we're still underneath that extreme threat from heat, not only on Sunday, but into Monday as well. We will watch, though, as that rain ushered in by a weak front will also bring down slightly cooler air. It is not a strong cold front by any means, but it is just enough to get some showers and thunderstorms developing. However, because it's not as strong, as soon as it hits those 90s that we're underneath, our shower and thunderstorm chance will likely break up a little bit and then reform as we go overnight into Tuesday once those temperatures start to cool down. Because that cold front is going to weaken, or it is weak, it's essentially going to become stationary. It's not going to move as we go Tuesday into Wednesday into Thursday. What that means is showers and thunderstorms likely are going to continually impact us as we go further into next week, leading to anywhere between 1.5 inches in the light blue here to upwards of 3, maybe 4 isolated spots of 4 inches of rain as we go over the next 7 days. So by the end of all of this, not only will we have picked up beneficial rain, but we could be dealing with some minor flooding and or minor ponding issues. But for the most part, because this is going to be stretched out, I don't foresee any major flooding concerns. However, stay with News 3 Now, we will, of course, keep you updated. Also need to mention that throughout next week, we may get an isolated severe weather chance. There's no severe weather outlooks right now besides on Monday, so stay with us. We'll also keep you updated. But we'll say goodbye to the 90s on Tuesday, still hang out in those low 80s from Tuesday through that following weekend, and then maybe we slip back into the 70s by the following week, which I believe will take us into basically the start of July.
So Andrew and I were out at the farmer's market earlier today.
Yikes. It was hot. That's tough.
And so
I was going to ask.
We were walking around, and it kind of got to the point where it's like, you know what, we should probably wrap this up soon.
Yeah.
Get inside.
I took my dogs out probably as the sun was rising because I wasn't going to last. I didn't know they weren't going to last. And then you guys put me inside today because I'm not built that way. You guys are built tough.
Yeah, so for those of you at home, we have the option in our rundown as to whether or not we're going to do first weather inside or outside. And I'm just so used to having Blaze outside. He's like, hey, by the chance, can you make sure I'm inside? And I was like,
It was a soft suggestion.
I was like, let me go and change it real quick.
And I thank you so much.
And we thank you because now we know that next time around to check our first weather app in the forecast before we
should have done that.
Yeah, head outside to the farmer's market. So we appreciate you.
I'm just going to keep my mouth shut.
With that being said, Andrew, if there's anybody playing sports outside, they may need to break out some extra Gatorade, some water. What do we have coming up?
Yeah, you would think that for a normal person, but not for Jacob Mizorowski. Still ahead, the Brewers' big guy is living up to the hype. We tell you all about Jacob Mizorowski next on News 3 Now. Every so often in life, things live up to the hype. Jacob Mizorowski has done just that for the Brewers and then some. In his MLB debut last week, he flung 5 no-hit innings, and last night he had a perfect game through 6, making him the first pitcher in MLB history to not allow a single hit in his first 11 innings of MLB action. It's unbelievable. He's made seasoned veterans like this look like they are absolutely unexperienced ever since he's been called up from the minor leagues.
I think honestly I felt calmer and ready to go compared to the first one. Nerves were going pretty heavy on the first one, so it's good to finally feel the feet under you. I think this is exactly how I ever dreamed of it coming along, so it's exciting.
Perfect through 6, huh? Wow, you don't see that very often. I think he stepped up even better than he was the first day. I think he was more in command.
By the way, they won yesterday's game by a massive margin, looking for another W today in the Twin Cities, and the Twins just couldn't get out of their own way. Scoreless in the first, and the Minnesota catcher Ryan Jeffers sails one into the outfield, and the Crew take an early lead. And later, Isaac Collins, a Twin Cities native, finishes off his hometown team, a liner to left that could not be corralled as the Brewers beat up on the Twins again, winning it 9-0. To the pitch we go. Madison West looking to take the state soccer crown in Division I against Muskego, but the Regents would have some work to do. Down 1-0 in the second half, and Elsie Watson strikes a shot over the keeper for the equalizer. That would mark Watson's second game-tying goal of the tournament, but this one would need penalty kicks, and that's where Muskego eked out a victory, marking their 4th straight girls state soccer title, leaving Madison West as the Division I runner-ups. More state soccer, the battle of the Crusaders in the Division III championship game. Edgewood playing Catholic Memorial and trying to play catch-up. Last check, Edgewood down 4-2 in the second half. And we finish on the basketball floor where Pat Connaughton exercised his player option, meaning he'll return to Milwaukee next season. Last year was a down year for Pat. He averaged just 5.3 points per game, his lowest point total per game in his 7 seasons in Milwaukee. But at the end of the year, he did pop off with that career-high 43 points. And we all remember where we were for the Pat Connaughton game. I mean, I know you do, Jalen.
Yeah, for sure.
I was going to say, true.
Yeah,
I mean, Blaze does. He's a big Patty C fan.
Yeah, of course.
Duh.
But how could you not be? It's that content. Well, I mean, what are your thoughts on him coming back? Like, do you think they've told him maybe have an increased role? I mean, what are your thoughts?
My thought is that he probably didn't have a good opportunity elsewhere to get a contract, and he just exercised that option to make sure that he was paid. A guy that will be paid, no ifs, ands, or buts about it, will be Jacob Mizorowski. I mean, the idea your first 11 innings of MLB action would be all without a hit. He's the first pitcher in MLB history through his first 2 starts to have more wins than hits allowed. He's allowed 1 hit, and he has 2 wins under his belt. It's unbelievable.
I mean, I sent it to you, that highlight you had shown when the batter fell to his knees trying to hit the ball. I mean, that's like Looney Tunes cartoon
It is.
stuff.
Yeah, and this guy is a rookie. I mean, he just got called up last week. It's unbelievable what he's doing.
And he's throwing some heat, and unfortunately, we're experiencing some heat in southern Wisconsin. How long is that going to stick around?
It's going to stick around through at least Monday. Overnight lows ending where we should normally end the day in terms of temperatures, upper 70s to low 80s. It is important that especially overnight tonight and Sunday night that you are staying cool, hydrated, and the same goes for your pets as well, Sunday and Monday. And then starting later Monday through all of next week, we see rain and thunderstorm chances.
All right, sounds good. Thank you all for joining us. We're always streaming 24/7 on Channel 3000+.